one more time, one more take. I keep going off and talking about so much, and this is why I need to develop a course. Lilith has been pushing me to develop a course on working with her. Not her legends, not all of her fucking myths and shit. That's on y'all to research, because that never ends. That never ends. And I'm always learning more about that, because there's so many fucking stories about her. So many different versions of the same story about her. It's not really going to be that. It's going to cover some of that. But I want a course, and I want to include in the course, or either have a separate course or mini course or whatever, specific to men working with Lilith. Because it's needed. Because she's been pushing me to do that, and then this morning I wake up to a message from someone who follows me on my social media, and I'm assuming identifies as a man, asking me about her, and you know, I'm not going to go into the details of the conversation because it is a personal conversation. If you're watching this, which might be, I hope what I said didn't come off as dismissive, but I really do strongly suggest going to Astaroth first. I really strongly suggest going to Astaroth first. And Astaroth is someone you can contact like right now, who can prime you and prep you for working with Lilith down the road. Because you have to understand, Astaroth and Lilith, I think of them as sisters. If we know their Sumerian origins, and we know how their relationship used to go, Lilith used to serve Astaroth when they were Inanna and Lilith. So Lilith was the right hand of Inanna. Nowadays, it's not so. Nowadays, they probably see each other as equals, although Lilith is, in most infernal hierarchies today, higher ranking than Astaroth. Again, depends on the hierarchy. In the Dukhante hierarchy, Lilith isn't classified at all. She's just kind of thrown into a hodgepodge of things. The Dukhante hierarchy is kind of sexist, but that's a different discussion. Especially with its description of Lilith. Don't ever refer to Lilith as a wife of anyone. And when you read my text, when I make my text available to whoever I make it available to, that I have channeled from her, and you read my fucking introduction to that, because it exists there for a reason, you'll know why wife is a word you should never, ever use for Lilith. Ever. She's nobody's wife. She can be a consort. She has many consorts. It's okay to pair her with a consort like Lucifer, Samael, Satan. She has many lovers, but she is wife to nobody. Nobody is her husband. If you know what the word husband actually means and why it's fucked up to refer to anyone as a wife, really. I know these days it means something else, but the origins of the word wife, just to tell y'all, it means slave. Husband means owner. That's why we refer to animal husbandry when people own livestock. Okay? Wife means slave. Husband means owner. I know that's not the way we use these words now to describe like modern marriage. We are describing gender in a spouse now, but the word wife meant slave, specifically females who were slaves. So it was the word for your female slave, your wife. Withman is the word that Withman is the word before woman existed. So women were called slaves before we were called women. Anyway, so don't ever refer to Lilith as a wife, as the Dukhante hierarchy does. I love S. Connolly. I love her work. There's a lot of flaws in it too. I recently downloaded her app, and the listing for Lilith in that app is not Lilith. It's, I don't know, it's like Gaia or somebody, but it's not Lilith. None of those attributes made sense to me with Lilith. Personally, Lilith is not a Mother Earth goddess at all. She is fiercely protective, and she's a Mama Bear goddess, but she's not a Mother goddess. Astaroth's a Mother goddess. She's a goddess of love and war, and she's basically all Mother goddesses. So, go to Astaroth. Lilith is, to summarize, more like a surrogate mother, an adoptive mother, because people go to Lilith over like fertility. Don't ever go to Lilith over traditional fertility, unless you are a surrogate mother to somebody else. If you're carrying someone else, like a child that is going to be someone else's child, don't go to Lilith for traditional fertility. Go to Lilith if you're planning to be a foster parent. Go to Lilith if you're planning to adopt a child, or to welcome a non-blood relative into your family, or a queer child. Lilith is great for queer children, but Lilith is for outcasts. Astaroth is more open to everyone. So that's the biggest thing there. And I think a lot of people overlook Astaroth when a lot of the similar qualities they're looking for in Lilith and trying to access through Lilith, who is exclusive. As many people who claim to work with Lilith kind of don't. Like, a lot of people claim to work with Lilith, and I can tell you they're not working with her. I don't confront them about it. I don't want to make them uncomfortable about it. Lilith does have many forms. And a lot of people are working with Lilith. So, like, I don't really go and attack anybody over that. But, like, people overlook Astaroth. Astaroth has a lot to offer that people are looking for in Lilith. And Astaroth is a perfect goddess to go to who can help prep you to work with Lilith later down the line. Because she and Lilith are very close. And that's, you know, if you know their origins, you know why. Now, along with my text that I've written, it is channeled material, by the way. So it's, the main meat of it is mainly written by Lilith, so it's going to piss people off inevitably. But along with that, I'm thinking of developing a course for people to work with her. And I want to specifically address issues for men and non-women wanting to work with Lilith, but specifically men wanting to work with Lilith, and as well as for women and for queer people wanting to work with Lilith. There are unique issues for all of us when we approach her. There are unique, and then as individuals, there are unique lessons to learn from Lilith. So I want to develop a course where we can discuss that more delicately and use the text to do so. Because these are conversations that are going to trigger people, that are going to upset people, that are going to call people out without even meaning to, and dig up our shadows. And that deserves, I know this term is completely fucked now, but a safe space, for lack of a better term. It deserves its own space. Because you can't just, I mean, you can, but I don't recommend just diving into Lilith. You can try, but the consequences can be great. That's not me trying to fearmonger. It's just to let you know, it's up to you. But I can't recommend Astaroth enough for a lot of things that people go to Lilith about. Which some people are going to beg the question, why go to Lilith at all? Well, You know, if you don't feel the need to, then you never needed to. But Lilith calls who she calls. If you know she's calling you, then bypass everything I'm saying. Bypass everything I'm saying, answer her. But be careful, because we have to understand also Lilith, in basically every myth that she's involved in, every culture she's involved in, has trickster origins. So be careful, because with tricksters, you don't see the whole picture yet. And it will be revealed to you, and it may not be what you expect, and it may not be what you wanted, or what you thought you wanted, but it's what you needed. So be careful, be wise, and pay attention to what she doesn't say. That goes for demons in general, but like, especially those with fucking trickster origins, especially those who are shapeshifters, especially those who are sexual, because those who are sexual tend to also have trickster aspects. They're all kind of erotic to some extent, but not all, but a lot of them. A lot of them communicate that way. Invocation is an erotic experience for many people. Or I should say an arousing experience for most people in some way. It doesn't have to be sexual. Yeah, so that in short is what I want to say and what I want to put out before I have to. Of course, we're going to discuss this more in depth. I've been meaning to go live. I don't even know how to go live. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I don't really have the time that this topic deserves today. But I wanted to just say this for anyone who needs to hear it right now. All these energies are just exploding. Literally, Algol is blowing shit up as I speak. And the fucking solar eclipse is today. New moon. And all these big shifts are happening. I know, and people say like, the shifts are happening, and they never fucking happen. Well, they're happening for me right now. And they're happening for other people, and I'm seeing it right now. And low key, I'm realizing, because I didn't realize, like, I mixed up the days of the lunar eclipse. So when I thought I was prepping for the lunar eclipse, I was actually doing my lunar eclipse shit. And I'm realizing now that I may have connected to the fucking highest cliffa when I haven't worked through the cliff off. I through Da'ath, was connecting to Thaumiel. Yeah, ADHD, not doing things linearly. Didn't mean to. And definitely need to work through the cliff off properly. But that sphere, yeah, anyway. Anyway, life is a mess right now. Everything is topsy-fucking-turvy, upside the fuck down. This is something Satan had warned me about, and I didn't know it would be happening within my lifetime. But it's happening, and the Medusa energy is out, which means Lilith is close behind, and it's happening. It's happening. But as it's happening, we need to set boundaries for ourselves so we don't go insane, and take this shit one step at a fucking time. Because if you're not careful, you might be where I am, where like everything is upside down. In a good way. I'm not complaining. This shift needed to happen. But I'm a chaotic being. I don't live a conventional lifestyle whatsoever. I can handle some turbulence. Other people who have much more conventional lives, conventional jobs, set schedules, this could be far more disruptive to your lifestyle. So for now, unless Lilith is calling you directly, I highly recommend Astaroth. And Astaroth can absolutely introduce you to Lilith later, but don't contact Astaroth just to bring you to Lilith. Don't do that. Go to Astaroth with the problems you were going to present to Lilith. Again, unless, of course, Lilith is calling you. If Lilith is calling you directly, answer it. Answer it. I'm not going to promise that it's safe. I'm not going to promise that it's going to be all fucking nice rainbows and shit. It's not going to be. Lilith is extremely shadowy. Lilith is extremely shadowy. And she can bring out the ugliest parts of people. So many fights I've had with people where she has entered me and spoken through me. You know, I'm no longer friends with most of those people. Because I spoke truth. I spoke truth, and I spoke it in the most blunt way possible. So, not necessarily disrespectful, just blunt. And that is more powerful. That is more insulting to a lot of people than if you were just disrespectful. Because you're right. Because you're right. And that pisses people off more than you being mean. Anyway, I gotta go. I think this take is the one that I'm uploading. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for questions. I'm always happy to try to help people if they DM me, and I'm so grateful that I no longer get like crazy weird messages. That could probably still happen, knock on steering wheel, but but everyone's coming to me, it seems everyone's coming to me with very intelligent, thoughtful questions, or at least respectful, so I appreciate that. Thank you. And if you are someone who's struggling, or someone in your life is struggling, know that you have my sympathies and my empathy as well in this particular situation, because the person who contacted me, what their child is going through is something I went through at the same age. So, and something like without the goddesses I was working with, of whom Lilith was around, although Lilith was not my go-to at the time. I had other deities guiding me. Lilith came about more when I was sexually awakening as a woman, which happened in puberty, but like, yeah. So, absolutely don't ever hesitate to contact Astaroth if something like this is happening. And you also don't need demons to do all your magic for you. You can do magic on your own. You can hire someone else to do magic for you if it's a dire situation. Sometimes magic isn't what is required, but it can help. Never just rely on magic, because magic works in its own time and can work in ways we don't predict. So just be mindful of that, of course. I'm sure most of you are. But yes, there's a lot of healing that needs to happen, but I think I've said what I need to say. I gotta go for now. There's much more that needs to be talked about, but I don't have the time right now. So I'm asking y'all to be patient with me. For the next couple days, I'm gonna be working, and then right after that, I have to do a reading. I'm realizing now, with the amount of power I raise, that readings can take a lot out of me. And the first one you guys saw me do recently, that was much more, that was not a regular half-hour reading or whatever. That was a special request, and we negotiated a different price on that. So please know that if you're asking me to do something similar, I'm gonna expect that price or higher. So that price was well over what I charge for a half-hour reading, because it was working. It was, but again, I left it open to the person, and I was figuring out what I was doing as I was doing it, if I'm being honest. Which is kind of how I do things. I get into state, and I let the spirits guide me, and my ancestors guide me, and I do what I need to do. But yes, so thank you. And also, if anyone is interested in readings, I don't know if I've said so on here, my Instagram, Sanctuary Satanica, all one word, just like the TikTok handle. And if you ever need updates on that for now before I have a shop. There's a highlight on my Instagram that says services. Click that. That'll tell you what I'm doing. And also DM me if you have a special request. You can DM me, and if it's something I feel like I can do and am willing to do, we can negotiate a price on what that is, okay? But I'm not openly offering spell work or ritual work or anything like that right now because I just don't want to attract what that attracts. I'm not gonna do fucking reconciliation spells for, you know, a fucking breakup. I'm not doing that. I'm about to, and I'm gonna start my initiation to the cliff off very soon. I have bigger fish to fry, you know what I mean, than your fucking relationship problems. When I I always say to bitches who want their man back, I'm like, girl, let's bind him to the new woman. It's way funnier to bind those two together than it is to try to bring his stupid ass back to you. You know what I mean? Whatever. So yeah, like, I'm just not, for that reason, for like the petty reasons people buy spell work, is why I'm not advertising spell work or ritual work. But if you come to me with like a genuine thing that I feel I can do, we can talk about it. If I feel like I can't do it, please just respect that I said I can't do it or I won't do it. I may be able to recommend someone else to you. I've only got a service from one other practitioner once because I tend to do things myself. And that was about a personal weakness of mine, which is financial magic. There, I said it. There's my weakness. I have a lot of weird, shadowy things about money. So I asked someone else to help me. They have a completely different tradition than me. They're a root worker. They do hoodoo. So, and they did something. It did work. It helped me. It's very nice of them. I don't even remember their name, so I'm sorry that I can't recommend them to anybody. But yeah, you know, if you come to me and I feel like it's something out of my pay grade, I may be able to recommend someone else to you. If, you know, I don't feel like I'm gonna attract too many people right now with ridiculous requests that are I don't want to say impossible, but let's say fantastical. I've had those a lot in the past where people are like asking me to turn them into a vampire or something ridiculous, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I'm rambling again. I gotta go. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the questions. I will be in touch over these days, but I'll be less consistent with getting back to people. I try to be quick. With this new phone, I'm a little bit perpetually online, and I have to take some breaks to actually be making sure I'm still doing my spirit work and still taking care of myself. But yeah, like, I try to be quick responding to everybody. I'm just gonna be busy because I'll be at work. I still have to get that bread. So thank you. Any concerns, questions, whatever, send me a DM. You can leave a comment, but some discussions are better in DMs. You can send me a DM and I will get back to you when I can. You have my support. You have, you know, I know it sounds stupid to say y'all be in my prayers, but you know, you are. You know, the collective is in my prayers, and yeah, I can always, I don't always know how to help people directly, but I'll always try. So thank you, and I hope that whatever you're going through, you get through it, and that we all have the best day we can. Talk to y'all next time.